Welcome to Tennis Espresso Journal, your updated tennis GOAT debate.
Hello everyone. So we're going to be talking about Vonder Half Index. This index is aimed to find out who is the GOAT of tennis. But it's actually somewhat skewed to the modern era tennis. So we do have all the greats of the past here, but since their metrics are not 100% fitable, and they're not their titles were somewhat not exactly the titles that we should expect them to have, and their rankings either, so they're kind of a left out. They're still there, but not as great as they possibly might be. So this measures who's the GOAT, but it measures who's the GOAT of open era, because from open era on we do have the metrics, all the metrics, and to fill up the criteria we need to do that. So, we're, as we have spoken previously, previous videos, we do have the three pillars of the sport, which are rankings, titles, and matches. For a very simple reason, we do have the in order to, so the main goal of a tennis player is obviously to win a match, and after many matches won, you can win a tournament, and with many titles won, or at least good campaigns on those titles, we can achieve the status of being the best in the world. So those are the rankings, and we do have the those are the images of Waltz, Kenneth Waltz, of the man state and war system. Those three images can be translated to tennis, so that I can have a better idea of it. Of course, we have a smaller image, which are points, but they do not have much depth, so that we could have like points and games and sets. It doesn't really matter this much. They do not matter as much as matches. And we also have decades, or multiple decades, which are more than the 52 weeks rankings, obviously. But they do not translate it precisely either, because we have players playing half of their careers in one decade, half of their careers in another decade, like Rafa Nadal, for example. So it's not really that relevant in order to find out who's the GOAT, and they also lack of depth. But the depth of metrics and criteria we have, the depth of metrics we have under these three criteria of rankings, titles, and matches are unmatched. So here we have the rankings. For the rankings, we've chosen only three metrics that we believe are the most important metrics to determine it, which are the year-end number one, weeks as number one, and weeks as top 10. So they also have a degree. So, for example, weeks as number one is kind of in a middle term. Weeks as top 10 is like in the bottom tier, and year ends like the hardest one to get is on the very top, highest tier. We also have the titles, which are also divided into three different metrics. In the titles criteria, we do have the most important ones are obviously the majors, the Grand Slams nowadays. On a second tier, we have all the big titles, which are Masters 1000, ATP Finals, and Olympics. And on the third tier, we may say, we have the all titles, so which are all the titles that the guys could achieve throughout their careers. On the rivalry side, which is the third pillar, we do have their career winning percentage, which is a picture of whatever they have done during their entire careers, since they were young until they were a little bit older. We do have the basic standardized measure for GOATs and ATGs, which is versus top 10. Whenever we face a top 10, then you have a real good quality there that you can be measured by. And on the very highest tier of it, we have the versus top 5. Why do we have this top 5? Well, simply because we could not put head-to-head. Ideally, we should have put head-to-head between Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, and Novak Djokovic, so then you could have a much more accurate tier of the highest tier in rivalries. But we cannot do it with McEnroe, because Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, they've never played McEnroe. So whatever we can do is kind of replicate these 5 rivalries into the past. So the rival of an ATG or a GOAT, the rival of a GOAT is a GOAT too. So we do have those 5 guys on every single decade as being top guys of the sport. So if we have the winning percentage against those 5 guys, it sort of replicates the eventual head-to-head, and that's why it's so important. All right, that's it, guys. I'm gonna keep on talking about this later. See you guys next time.